Hi everybody, welcome back to Jana's Crochet Journey. Today's November 9th, 2022. Happy Wednesday to you. I know it's been a few more days than normal, but crocheting is kind of difficult right now. I started having some problems with my right arm at the end of August, early September with summer cleaning, and I waited a month, went to the doctor at the end of September, early October, and they said it was tendonitis, of course, in my right arm. So, give it 2 to 4 weeks, doing the whole RICE thing, they call it, rest, ice, compression, and elevate. I don't get to ice it as much as I probably should, and I do wear a thing around my arm when I'm at work. Otherwise it's like a pinchy feeling, and I can't grab and lift. Like I have to use both hands, and it's still not doing much better. So I'm probably going to have to go see an orthopedic person. Not that I want a shot in my elbow, arm, but I don't know. I'm kind of putting it off, but we have wet snow coming this weekend, and then by Monday, like 4 inches, and I'm in Western New York. So I like to go as little places as possible once the weather changes like that. So we'll see. This past Sunday on the 6th was my birthday. 49, folks. Next year, I don't even want to talk about it. And today is mine and my husband's 3rd anniversary. So we had doctor's appointments for him. If y'all don't know, he's diabetic and on dialysis. So there's like a boatload of doctors and specialists. So we had a couple of those today. And then I did some grocery shopping because winter's coming and I like to be stockpiled. Not hoarder, but enough so that, I don't have to worry about going to the store. So I got that done. Now I got to put it all away. But in saying all that, 3 minutes in, like y'all care, I was like, man, I really got to sit down, get a video done. Then I can have a cup of coffee and then start putting all my canned goods down in my area down in the basement. And I really need to plant some flower bulbs. My sister-in-law got me a bunch for my birthday, and now's the time to get them in the ground, and the sun is out, so I'm just gonna have to suck it up and go out there. I took the day off of work so I could make me and the hubby some dinner, splurge on some cheesecake, and all that fun stuff. So to get started here, and in getting back to the whole tendonitis thing, I don't have a whole bunch. I mean, I tried to crochet like 20 minutes, and then they say, take a 10-minute rest, but they like don't crochet more than an hour a day. Like, what? Ugh. Who are you people? Okay, so anyways, November's Glorious Granny Square. It is a crochet along with Christy from Crochet Creations by Christy, and I'm using a 6mm hook, and I have different scraps that I'm kind of, not scraps, but like the colors that I chose, I'm getting down there. So that's kind of directing what my squares are looking like. I want to get December's done as well, and then that way I can work on putting them all together, and then this will be done. But this is my November square, and it's a little bit up close. This is Big Twist, and this is Red Heart, and this is Big Twist, and the purple is how I'm going to attach all of my squares. So it'll be 3 across and 4 down, I think. If I don't like the way it looks, I might have to whip up a couple more, but that's the goal, is to just use the 12 that I have. And I still have to take a picture and post this on Christy's Facebook. She's very generous. At the end of every month, she you know, put y'all on a wheel if you've been doing it right along, and she gives you stitch markers for participating if your name comes up. So I got to take a picture, get this on, get December's done, and then I can put it together. So there's that. And then the other crochet along I am doing is it's by Nan's Next Knots. This time around, which is number 6, Mama Swift, Trisha, has drawn all the numbers so far except for 2, I believe, which Nan has popped in, you know, to let everybody know that she's doing okay and to draw the numbers. And I decided to use the Drunken Granny pattern by Krista from the Secret Yarnery, and using a 6mm hook. And I think it's weeks 12 and 13 and 14. Ugh, I don't remember. So this gold is the color that I'm using, and it is a red heart, but it's really soft. So I'm doing 3 rows of the color and then 1 row of the gold. My next color was purple, and then this is bright orange. Premier Basic, Stitch Studio by Nicole. I'm just, you know, grabbing whatever fit my purpose, because the inspiration for my colors was, I love this yarn print. So I picked this first, and then I looked at my colors and just drew out colors that were in here. Now, this was only drawn once so far. And December 15th, it'll be over, and then this blanket will be done. So this is where I'm at so far. Put these away. Trying to stay organized. All right, so this is the blanket so far. So when I first started it, I did do 3 rows of the gold just to get it going. And then I did 3 rows of the color drawn, 1 row of gold, and then so on. And then this is just how the colors have unfolded. And I still have to weave in my ends, but just so you can see the stitches, Drunken Granny is what it's called. I will definitely be doing this one again. Sorry, my sinuses. I do have to, I think I've printed every one of her granny line, as I like to call it. I have the colors for my grandson's nursery that is due in February, and I'm going to do the sober granny, which is like this in reverse. I just I'm not going to start that until this is done and the Glorious Granny squares are done. That way, you know, I won't feel like I've got so much going on. So tomorrow, being Thursday, the next color will get drawn, and then I will either add it or wait till the following week and do 2 at a time, because it doesn't take that long. I've also thought about going back and like renumbering some other colors next year if she doesn't do another one, and then just go back and getting all the numbers week after week, and then I don't have to wait, and it'll be just a way to come up with some colors and whatever, because sometimes it's not always easy. Even with a color wheel, I struggle. Okay, so another blanket that I showed last time was I started, it's called the Griswold. This is a free pattern by Lion Brand, and they used the ice cream yarn. And I didn't want to cut off the yarn every row. I just wanted to pick a yarn and go. So again, 6mm hook for this. I guess it's my favorite hook right now. And I wanted to use this Hirschner's worsted stripes in the color Very Merry. And I got 3 of these from Hirschner's because I was looking in the closet in a box to see what yarns hadn't seen daylight in a while. And this was one of them, and I was like, well, since I'm skipping fall colored themed for this year, I did leave those other yarns in the bag with the pattern so that maybe the end of summer next year I'll be ahead of the game. And so when I saw this, I'm like, yep, let's just jump to a Christmas blanket. So that is the second of 3 balls, and I'm just following the pattern where it tells you that you would start a new ice cream color. I'm just slip stitching over to that spot and picking right up where the pattern tells you to. So this is where I am at so far. So I decided to do the round because I have never done a round blanket before. I thought it was cool that this was perfect in the middle, just enough, and then almost made it with the regular red, and then the maroon jumped in. I call it maroon, but so here it is close up. And then it's almost like every few rows the pattern repeats, you know, whether you're doing a single in certain spaces or 2 doubles. And then this row here, I just finished where they started adding shells. So this was the first time this ever happened. So this really, at least for me, keeps my interest without being too difficult. They consider this, I don't know if it was intermediate. Oh, Atlanta, you think I would remember? No, they consider it an easy pattern. But I'm still learning how to read patterns. This one is pretty simple, but when you get those patterns where you've got the parentheses and all that craziness, I'm just like, holy smokes. So anyways, there's that, and it does have the wave going on, but I love how the colors just do their own thing. And oh, there's my stitch marker. Getting ready to do another change where now you're going to be going into the singles in between the shells. So yeah, I'm trying to hold it the best for you, but it's got a mind of its own right now. But love those colors, and I will keep going until I run out of the 3 skeins, and then it's going to be done. This seems to be the one that I'm grabbing first when I sit down to crochet my 20 minutes, because even though it's Hirschner yarn, it really has a good feel to it. It's almost like a thicker 4. It feels definitely thicker than like the Red Hearts, and I like it. So then, in my travels of looking at yarn that hasn't seen daylight in a while, I found some puzzle yarn. I have never crocheted with it, and I am into the thicker yarns because of the old Arthur. And so this is Premier Puzzle, and this is the color Backgammon. And sorry, it kind of fell out of the band. So there's some colors that it has in it. And this is 100% acrylic. It's a bulky 5. And it has 328 yards. And I have 6. So I went online looking for a pattern. And on Premier's website, they had a couple patterns using puzzle yarn. This is called Ocean Blue Blanket, and it's level intermediate. So I decided to go with this. I had originally picked one first, but they wanted the back loop only, and I didn't want to do that. So this is the one I'm doing. It calls for 5 balls, but I'm using all 6, whether I just keep repeating the pattern to make it a little bit longer, or I end up doesn't have you putting, does it? No, it doesn't have you putting a border on it. So we'll see what it looks like when I'm done, if I just want to do, you know, some singles around it to finish it off. But you use a 6mm hook. I did 8mm in my foundation chain because of my wonky tightness that I usually seem to end up with, and I'm using a 7mm, so it'll have a little more drape, hopefully. And so far, now this is a, once you get your rows established, it's a 4-row repeat, and it says intermediate, but as long as you keep track, it's not that hard at all. So this is where I'm at so far. The foundation chain on here is 118. I think I went a little bit longer. Yeah, because it gives you a multiple plus, or of 8 plus 6. So if you can see Ocean Blue Wave, you can see the colors, how with the waviness that it has changed. And with the light coming in here from outside, it kind of helps, I think. So yeah. Ooh, looks a little better. So you can see, and you just do the 4-row repeat. You know, and I'm like tugging on the bottom, but I think it's going to be okay. So I haven't used much, maybe not quite half of the first skein. And I did not measure it, but I like how on here you can finally see the waves. But I do like working with the bulky 5. I have a couple other puzzle yarns in my closet, but I don't have as many skeins. So maybe if I ever see this go on sale, but I do have other yarns that I just need to start using. You know, because my husband was like, oh, do you want yarn for your birthday? Or I'm like, no, I'm content. I just want to start using what I have. So that's that. I did mention that I was going to pull out a UFO and work on it because it could go as a Christmas gift. I did start doing that, but it's single crochet in the back loop only, and you had to go so wide, and I think it's 126 rows before you start going into something else. I did like 30, and I'm like, I'm not feeling it, honestly. And so I'm not going to waste what precious time I have on something that's not giving me joy. So I'm just going to go with what I have at the moment. And then, like I said, when these 2 projects are done, I want to start the baby blanket. And the last thing I have to show is Lynette from Charm Grammy Crochet. Was she doing a live? Sorry, Lynette, I can't remember. Or no. I don't remember. But anywho, my name came up in the draw, and she sent me Yarn Bee Turin Turquoise, 270 yards. And this is a 6, 75 acrylic, 15 nylon, and 10% wool. And it's, I don't know, a little more minty than what it's showing. The color's turquoise. And this was at a Hobby Lobby clearance. Originally $19.99 for this stuff, and it was reduced to $4.99. And she sent me 2. So I need to decide what I want to make with this. I just have to see what I could get with this yardage, because I'm assuming since Hobby Lobby clearanced it, they weren't carrying it anymore. Unless I can find this online or put a solid with it. Could be a possibility. So that's cool. And I have a furls hook coming. Dee from Dee's Creative Hands, she does lives on Saturday nights, and my name came up and I won a furls hook. I've never owned one. Fivers. And she says they're really good for arthritic hands, and I'm thinking, hot diggity dog, can't wait. All right, guys, I got to get going. I need to have my cup of coffee and then get all the goodies put away, get outside and plant those bulbs. And then tonight, Christy and Stephanie from Stephanie's Yarn Escape and Christy from Crochet Creations by Christy is having their no filter fiber at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. So I want to be on for that because I love those girls. All right. Please like, subscribe, and share. Comment if you want to. And we'll see you next time. Bye.